Hey everybody, this video lesson is all about the pre-lab for lab number 9. In this lab you'll be mixing together two solutions and seeing what the heat of the reaction is. The two solutions that you're going to be mixing together are Na2SO3 and the other solution is HClO, which is just household bleach. Now I've diluted the bleach down to 0.44 molar, and your first thing that you need to do in the procedure is to make the Na2SO3 from the solid. And so we're going to do that using a volumetric flask. And so I've shown a series of pictures here to help remind you how to prepare a solution using a volumetric flask. The first thing that you want to do is take the volumetric flask and fill it up to about this point with distilled water. You don't want to fill it up to the line and then add your solid, because then you fill up to the line, add your solid, the solution will be above the line. A volumetric flask is specifically designed to measure exactly 100 milliliters of volume, and so you want to lay down a nice bed of water and then add the salt, the Na2SO3, to it. Now in picture number 2, what you've done is you've added the Na2SO3 to the solution that still isn't at the line. And so you're still not at the line, but you added the solid in, and then you cap it, and begin to agitate. Now I will warn you that Na2SO3 is completely soluble in water, but will take a number of minutes of agitation for you to get it to dissolve. And so one way to do this would be to heat up the solution. It would dissolve faster, but then we would have to wait for the solution to cool down back to room temperature in order to do this reaction. And so you're just going to have to be patient. You're going to have to turn it upside down and invert it and make sure it's all dissolved before moving forward. And so at this point, step number 2 may take about 5 or even 10 minutes to make sure that all the solid is completely dissolved. Now, many students call me over and go, "Hey, Mr. Calmy, is this completely dissolved yet?" And I go, "Well, I don't know. Look, use your eyes. Is there anything in the bottom still floating around? If there isn't, you're all done. But if there is, keep stirring, keep inverting. Make sure the cap is on tight so that you don't lose any of the solution." Now, once you've finished the dissolving process, you now want to fill up the rest of the way with water up to the line. And you want to use one of these squeeze bottles to do that. So take the cap off and then grab a squeeze bottle with distilled water and gently and slowly fill up to the line but not past the line. This will ensure that the volume inside the beaker or inside the volumetric flask is exactly 100 milliliters and no more and no less. Cap it again, give it another inversion, another swirl to make sure that all the solution is mixed up, and then you've finished with step 1, which is the making of the Na2SO3 solution. The next thing you're going to do is obtain 2 styrofoam cups and place them in a 400 milliliter beaker for stability. I've taken a picture of how it looks. The 400 milliliter beaker actually doesn't do any chemistry. Everything's going to be happening in the cups. Now the cups, one is bigger than the other. You want to get one big cup and one little cup. The little cup is the cap. And then down the side, you're going to slide a thermometer. And so it's not going to be completely airtight, but it'll be for the most part airtight. You want to make sure you grab a cap or a cover that doesn't have a hole in the top. Some of them have holes. I can look for more if all there's left is ones with holes in it, but it's kind of first come, first serve. You want to make sure that they kind of nest inside each other. You don't want it to be like a flush top and bottom. You want the one top to be smaller than the bottom so that it kind of nuzzles down in there and makes a decent contact in all the surfaces on the inside of the first beaker or the first styrofoam cup. From this point forward, you're going to be doing your 5 trials, and you're going to be mixing together different combinations of bleach with sodium sulfite, and so that the volume never exceeds 25 milliliters. And you're going to measure the temperature. Make sure you measure the initial temperature and the final temperature, and then also record the temperature change in your data table. And then you're going to sketch a graph. That's all covered in the calculations. So that pretty much covers this pre-lab. There is one pre-lab question, which is actually making you use stoichiometry to figure out how many grams of the sodium sulfite you need to make 100 milliliters of total solution. So make sure you do that pre-lab problem before you come into class, and we'll check the answer then. All right, well, that takes care of this pre-lab video. Thanks for watching.